I was raised in a Christian family, but they weren't particularly devout about it. They didn't force me or tell me how to live my life. They were very liberal about my faith. So because of this, I was very open to new ideas and doubts. God has worked so much in my life. I feel like there's a night and day difference from where I started. When I first started, I was a freshman at high school. I was exposed to so much anti-Christian sentiment because my school is super liberal. They're pro-choice, pro-gay marriage. They basically think that Christians are Jesus freaks. Christians comprise such a small percentage of the population. Practically everyone there is an agnostic freethinker. I looked into the atheist side, I looked into the Christian side, I looked into the Muslim side. I read all of their apologetics works. Now I see the merits of the Christian worldview. Aside from theology and all these other concepts, I see that Christianity built Western civilization. It gave women equal rights in the West. It built morality. Before the advent of Christianity in the West, I realized how only the Christian worldview was consistent with reality. I realized that if I were to become an atheist, there would be no way for me to explain why I have to be good to another person. There wouldn't be a way for me to explain why there are objective moral values. Why do I have to treat another person equally? What is the meaning of life, basically? There wouldn't be any sort of transcendent meaning to life. But I knew deep inside that wasn't true. I knew that I was created in the image of God. Because for me to even question life would require some kind of meaning, some kind of purpose behind me trying to answer these questions. Now I feel that I am a more moral person. I have more of an incentive to be nice to my friends or anyone I don't know. I feel that they're human beings made in the image of God. And I feel that if I want to glorify God, I need to treat them as such. And now I feel that I'm at peace. I'm no longer struggling with meaning in my life. I know that God has a plan for me. I just have to put my faith that God's gonna take care of the rest. James chapter 1 verse 5 captures my situation. It says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." This Bible verse just perfectly captures my journey to Christianity. I was doubtful like the Apostle Thomas. I continually prayed. I was very patient about this. I knew that since I'm gonna live 100 years, 1 to 3 years isn't much of my life to devote to finding truth. And I feel that God has given me that truth. And I feel that I don't doubt about God's goodness anymore. I know that God will deliver. It's just a matter of me putting faith in God. I think that the best advice that I could give is to always pray to God, even if you're at your worst in life. I think that you should always pray to God because this is a relationship with God. There's always going to be lows and highs in your journey. It can't be perfect all the time, or else it wouldn't be a relationship. I would also say that you should read the Bible because the Bible is how God speaks to people. The Bible records God's work and providence all throughout history. You should definitely expose yourself to other ideas. You should expose yourself to Christian apologetics because this isn't just blind faith. This is a reasonable faith. There's so much material out there. There's so many experts who have shown that the resurrection is an intellectual choice, that it's not something you just believe with blind faith. It's something that has so much backing, so much evidence, and that this isn't a foolish journey and you giving up your intellect.
Hi, my name is Sharon Yoon. I'm 17 years old and I grew up in a very Christian household. I actually grew up in a Presbyterian church and I am still here to this day. Personally, for me, I found it very difficult to surrender my anxiety, my fears, and ultimately myself. I think this was because when we're constantly in this place of doubt, whether it's a good environment or a bad environment, we tend to get very comfortable. And once we're in this comfort, we're unable to escape it. We don't want change, and our fears start to inhibit us, which is what I found myself in. I was constantly feeling anxious, I was constantly feeling depressed. I lost a lot of my motivation, and ultimately I was just in this very unhealthy position, not only with myself, but with those around me. Throughout my Christian walk, I always found it very easy to believe that God was this very timeless, omniscient being. But personally, I found it very confusing why someone so grand and so powerful would want to place so much effort into such faulty beings like ourselves. And it's very hard to believe that this powerful God would want to sacrifice someone as powerful as Jesus to us. Because I was constantly in this place where I didn't want to believe that. I felt worthless. But over time, you start to realize that our worth is not in ourselves, it's not in what we do, but it's that God loves us so much that we have worth in His love. Nowadays, I find it a bit easier to be able to surrender even a few minutes of my day. I have to admit it's not always a daily occurrence, but whenever I have the opportunity to, I will try to read the Bible. I try to pray before every meal. I try to pray with whomever I may be with. And it's difficult, but it helps me through my anxiety. And while it may not get rid of it holistically, it helps me to endure throughout it. Overall, I have found that it's not this clear-cut road that we walk through. It's bumpy, it has twists, it has turns. But with just knowing God's grace, it provides me hope, and that gets me throughout the day. That helps me to push myself even in my darkest times. And it's an amazing experience because no matter what, you see this beacon of hope, this beacon of light, even in your darkest times. For those who are struggling with similar things as I am, there's a verse in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9, that says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." And whatever path that we may see for ourselves, I can guarantee you that God will guide your path throughout every single step, no matter how difficult it is. So have hope, have heart, because know that the Lord is watching over you no matter where you are, despite what circumstance you're in, and have heart, have hope. Having hope in God, I can't guarantee you that it's going to get rid of your anxiety or depression, but I can promise you that it will get you through it. It provides hope, and God loves you. I love you. So just know that it's not an easy journey. It was never meant to be easy. But through that we grow, through that we learn, and through that we become the person that we are today.